On this video we're going to look at the Divi Builder. Divi Builder comes as part of the Divi theme, which is a premium theme which comes from Elegant Themes. This means that it needs to be purchased as a license. There's no annual fee unless you want to keep the updates coming. To install Divi, we do it like any other theme. We'll go into Appearance, Themes, and you would have, after purchasing it, you would then upload the actual theme. So once Divi's been installed, you can activate it from the screen. Now, if you want to use the templates that come with it, then you will need to go into the Divi theme options and enter your API key, which you'll get when you pay for your license for Divi. And once you've entered those, you can just save the changes, and you can see a tick there to say that's complete. Once you've done that, you can then start to create your pages and use your Divi Builder. So I'm just going to create another new page for this one. I'm going to call this one Divi page, so we can separate it from the one we made earlier. Now you can see at the top here we have use the Divi Builder. So again, you're not forced to use Divi Builder. You can use the original layout for WordPress, but if you want to use Divi, we click on that and you can see straight away that the Divi Builder comes into play. You can switch back to the original builder if you want to. So the Divi Builder works in a similar way to we looked at with the WP Bakery, where we have rows and columns. Now this one, you can see we have the blue outline, which is connected to the section, so that covers the overall section. Then we have the green, which covers off the row, and inside we have the columns. Hopefully that'll make more sense in a second when we look at it. Up here we have, this just allows you to export or import content. We're not going to look at that at the moment. This option here just lets you select some different settings for your Divi Builder, and this one just lets you collapse the content if you want to tidy up the page to do something. But we're not going to really focus on those. Down here we have Save to Library. So if you have built a content that you want to reuse, you can save it to your library and reuse it on a different page, which is a really useful function, and we'll look at that in a second. Load layout, again, it's if you've already saved your content, you can reload it to another page. And clear layout clears what you've got on there, so just be careful about using that one. So down here we have we call them the hamburger. So the three horizontal lines relate to settings. So if we click on here, it shows us the settings that are available for that section. You can see the section module. The overlapping pages, this is a duplicate option. So if I click on that, it duplicates the whole section. If I click on the one in the row, it duplicates the row within the section. And the same for column. If I've got something in the column, I can duplicate that and it will create a duplicate of whatever we had before. The cross is a delete option. So if I click on that, it will delete what I've put in there. Okay, so insert column, and again it gives you the options for your layouts. So you can have a full width layout, split 50-50, thirds, or whatever format you want, which is a really useful way to help build out your website content. For this one, we're going to start with a full width. If I wanted to add something that I've already saved, I would click on the add. So if we had something recorded, it would show in here and we could reuse that. But we'll go back here and we'll choose the full width. And you can see now this has changed to insert module. So this is where we can go in and we can choose the type of content that we want to add. So you can see down here we have normal text, but they've also got images, gallery, bar counters, buttons, blur. There's a lot of things you can play with there. But for now we'll just stick with the basics and just put some text in there. Okay, now you'll see it opens up a fairly familiar editor screen with all the different options. You can see there again you've got the toggle toolbar, which opens up the second set of options. So I'm just going to put in here, this is some content page. Now a really nifty tip with this is down the bottom here you have the admin label. So if I change that to header text, okay, now once you save that, you can see there it displays that text on there. It's just a great way of labeling your different sections and modules on your screen, so that you, when you come to edit things, it's an easy way to locate or home in on the piece of code or text that you want to update. Just go back into this by clicking on the hamburger. So if I want to change any of the formatting, I just click on the design, and there's loads of different options here, different fonts, font weight, put it on caps, text, changing the font size, loads of different options there you can play with. If you are using headers, you can format the headers there. With the content, actually we can make that, so if we highlight that and make that header, makes it bigger. And then if I wanted to change the format of my header 1, I just scroll down here, click on header 1, and then I can just change that to anything I want it to be. Okay, and then every time we do that, we need to save. Now saving it here does not publish it to the front end, you're just saving it within your page. It's not until you click on the publish button that it will appear on the front end. And like I said before, if I wanted to duplicate that, I could just click on that and it would create the same section. But I'm actually going to add another row because I want to split this one 50-50. And this time I'm going to add an image. And you can see it's a simple case of uploading an image. These are the ones I uploaded earlier. I'm just going to add a nice aeroplane. The opening light box that means that if you click on it, it will open up in a bigger screen so that people can focus on it. You can change things like the background and text. There's loads of things you can play with here, which unfortunately we haven't got time to do now. But you can see how easy it is to play with different settings and go back to them. When you're finished, you click on save. Now you may have noticed that when I was doing that, if I click on that row, at the bottom here there's a save and add to library. So if I want to save that row and reuse it, I can click on there, I can give it a name, so I'm just going to call that save row. Make it a global item. Now if I make it a global item, that means that whenever you use it across the website, if you change it in any particular place across your website, it will cascade across all the different locations that it is used. Really useful if you're using it for a footer item or menu or header, where you're using it across the website. Even things like a MailChimp link or a link to another website or an advert. If you change it once, it cascades across the website, which makes things really useful. If I do that, you'll notice that it changes color, so you can easily identify which ones are the global items. I'm just going to put in here, and I'm just going to put an accordion in there. Okay, so you can see I've just set up a couple of items there. At the bottom there, the admin label is set to accordion, so that's fairly intuitive. That image there, I'm just going to change that to image of airplane, so it's easy to identify. This is all to help you maintain your website and find it a lot easier when you're coming in. Okay, so I'm going to publish that, and then we'll take a look at what we've seen. Okay, so this is our page. So you can see along the top we've got our full width content, and then we've got our split content, and we've got our accordion on the right hand side with our items and our image. So I'm just going to show you, so that's been published. So I'm just going to add a new page in here. I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to show you how we use our saved content. So if I just open up on a new page on that one, and here I'm just going to click on there, add from library. You can see there's nothing in there at the moment, because that would be looking for sections. We're actually looking for row content here. So instead I'm going to click on add row, but this time instead of choosing my layout, I'm going to click on add from library and saved row. And you can see the global item that I created earlier is brought forward. So I'm going to get rid of the old row, and that will put in that page the same information that I'd already created in that global text. Sorry, global item. Okay, another really useful. Just going to clear that layout. Another really useful function within here is if you want to load layout. Now in here it gives you the options. You've got pre-made layouts, your saved layouts, and your existing pages. So it's going to be work in reverse. So your existing pages, any pages you've already set up, you can copy from. So if I click on that, it will create a duplicate of the page that I've already created. It saves a lot of time. So if you're using a standard layout, why not just duplicate an existing page? Okay, let's get rid of that one. If we want to look on saved layouts, now we haven't saved a layout, but if I'd created a page and I'd just saved that whole page to the layout, that would be here and we could use that. Pre-made layouts is really useful though, because these are the ones that come with the Divi theme, and this is what you're paying for. Makes life a lot easier. So say your business, I don't know, let's have a look at art and design. So we can click on art and design and you can see different options on here. So let's have a look at this one. And you can see straight away it's given me different page options. So each one of these pages has its own layout that we can utilize, and this comes as part of the cost of the Divi theme and saves a lot of design work and a lot of heartache for you trying to get things right. Now it may not be exactly the way you want it, but you can tailor this layout and you can adapt it to the way you want, including colors and images and so on. But it's a great way to start building your website. So I'm just going to pick up and just take the landing page there, and I'm just going to say use this layout. There is a live demo there you can see, but let's just use it so I can show you how easy it is. Now it's asking me for my authentication code, so I'm just going to put that in. We have already put that in, so it can't be saved, but I'll just do that again. Okay, so that's just authenticating my code that I put in earlier on, and then it will download automatically the template that we've just selected. Okay, so we can see that that's now loaded. Okay, and if we just click on preview there, flip over to that, you can see this is the preview of the page. So from that simple click to upload everything, all the content is in there just like that, and you can now adapt it. Flipping back to the back end, you can see all the sections there. I find that the templates that come with the theme aren't labeled as well as I would like, so I tend to change all those labels just by clicking and going down to the bottom there and just changing the admin label. But you have full flexibility to change this and adapt this the way that you want it. When you're happy, you click on publish, and we have to give that a name first, divi page 2, publish that. Now, a useful tip here, once that's published, if you make a mistake or you've done something and you want to roll back, you don't necessarily have to have full backups of your website. Within WordPress, or a lot of WordPress themes, there's this revisions option. If I click on that, browse, you can see there was 3 revisions there. So if I want to go back to a previous revision, say get rid of all that code, I can just click on that, move it back and restore this revision, which is a really useful tool. I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to leave that, but if you wanted to go back to an earlier state, then it's easy to do that just by clicking on that. And that's it. That's a quick overview of Divi Builder and how that works. There's a lot of functionality in there. Really, really powerful content builder. I love using Divi. It's one of my favorite themes, and I probably use it on about 80% of the websites that I develop, I would say. The only downside is that I do find it quite intensive in terms of performance. So it is really important that if you are using a visual builder of any type, I would recommend making sure you have good quality hosting for your website to make sure there's no overall performance implications.